Philadelphia Eagles fans, I don't know about you, but it feels like we are playing a dangerous game of Russian roulette with our offensive line depth. The situation is clear. The Eagles have a glaring hole at guard behind starters Landon Dickerson and Tyler Steen, and rumors are swirling about a potential reunion with Mekhi Becton to shore up that veteran presence. It is a fascinating debate because Becton could either be the ultimate bargain or a total liability for this unit. My name is Lucas, and the more details come out, the harder it is to ignore what is going on behind the scenes. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your name and city in the comments below so we can keep this conversation moving. Let's get into it. The Philadelphia Eagles face a significant roster question regarding interior offensive line depth behind starters Landon Dickerson and Tyler Steen. While the team recently added veteran Michael Jordan as an insurance policy, the lack of proven depth at the guard position has sparked conversation about a potential reunion with Mekhi Becton. Becton previously flourished under the guidance of Jeff Stoutland during his tenure in Philadelphia, earning a contract with the Los Angeles Chargers before a difficult campaign last season. According to Pro Football Focus, Becton struggled significantly with the Chargers, ranking 79th out of 81 qualified guards and allowing 33 pressures while serving as the lowest-graded run blocker in the league. The bottom line here is that despite his past success in our system, Becton is no longer the player who once showed immense promise as a first-round pick. Eagles fans are naturally protective of the offensive line, a group that remains the pride of this franchise under owner Jeffrey Lurie and head coach Nick Sirianni. Supporters are rightfully concerned that if Dickerson or Steen were sidelined, the remaining options like Micah Morris, Drew Kendall, or various developmental projects lack the necessary NFL experience to hold the line. Bringing back Becton on an affordable one-year deal worth under $2 million could provide a stopgap. Yet some argue it hinders the growth of younger linemen who require vital training camp reps to prove their value. We must decide if chasing a familiar face is worth stalling the development of the youth movement we have spent an entire season cultivating. If the organization chooses to pass on this reunion, we have to look closely at who is actually positioned to step up when the pressure rises. Does the current backup group have the capability to perform under the lights, or are we staring at a major liability waiting to happen? The most surprising reality facing our Philadelphia Eagles is that we currently lack a proven veteran backup at the guard position despite the high expectations for our starters. Landon Dickerson and Tyler Steen represent our primary focus, but the depth behind them is largely unproven, leaving the interior of our offensive line as a major question mark for the season. This situation feels precarious because our coaching staff must weigh whether to pursue a reunion with Mekhi Becton or stick with our younger prospects. According to Pro Football Focus, Becton struggled immensely last year, ranking 79th out of 81 qualified guards and allowing 33 pressures while serving as the worst run-blocking guard in the league. And I'll be straight with you, while Becton found success here previously under a different coaching environment, his recent decline makes a return a genuine gamble. Behind the scenes, the front office is likely measuring the development of players like Micah Morris and Drew Kendall against the potential for an immediate but low-cost veteran stopgap. Becton could potentially be signed for under $2 million, which presents no real salary cap risk, yet the team appears committed to evaluating the young talent currently on the roster. We have spent an entire year developing players such as Willie Lampkin, Holland Pierce, and Miles Hinton, and the staff clearly wants to see if those efforts yield results during this training camp. If we ignore these younger players now, we risk never discovering if they possess the necessary skills to compete at this level. While some fans might clamor for a familiar name, we must acknowledge that this is not the same player who previously excelled under our former staff. Ultimately, Jeffrey Lurie and the coaching staff are focused on long-term growth, even if that means embracing some uncertainty along the trenches this season. The fragility of our offensive line depth is currently the most pressing concern for the Philadelphia Eagles as we look toward a deep postseason run under Nick Sirianni. Securing the guard position is not just about filling a roster spot, it is about protecting the heart of our offensive production if injury strikes our starters Landon Dickerson or Tyler Steen. Bringing in a veteran like Mekhi Becton would offer a low-cost insurance policy against the uncertainty of our younger developmental prospects. Here's the thing nobody wants to say out loud regarding this potential reunion. Becton struggled immensely last season, allowing 33 pressures while ranking 79th out of 81 qualified guards, according to Pro Football Focus. Despite that poor performance, a one-year deal under $2 million carries no long-term risk for Jeffrey Lurie and the front office. Adding a veteran presence would immediately change our training camp dynamics by forcing rookies like Micah Morris and inexperienced players like Drew Kendall to fight for their snaps against someone with NFL pedigree. This level of competition is vital for our upcoming matchups against physical defensive fronts in the division. If our depth remains unproven, we risk exposing the interior line during crucial games against the Washington Commanders or the New York Giants when late-season playoff seeding is on the line. While we need to develop talents like Myles Hinton and Holland Pierce, relying on them exclusively without a veteran fallback could jeopardize our standing against elite conference contenders. While the coaching staff must decide if Becton fits the new system, ignoring the need for a seasoned guard creates a dangerous hole in our roster. We must weigh the value of youth development against the immediate need for reliable protection, because keeping our interior line stable is the only way to ensure our offensive momentum sustains itself all the way into January. The most compelling case for bringing back Mekhi Becton is rooted in simple, low-risk insurance for an uncertain interior offensive line. While we expect starters Landon Dickerson and Tyler Steen to hold down the fort, the lack of proven depth remains a glaring vulnerability. Adding a veteran like Becton on a one-year deal for under $2 million would provide immediate competition for players like Micah Morris and Drew Kendall without any long-term financial headache. Now here's the thing, the risks associated with this reunion are equally transparent. Becton struggled mightily last season, with Pro Football Focus ranking him 79th out of 81 qualified guards and citing his 33 pressures allowed as a massive red flag. Beyond the numbers, the scheme fit under offensive line coach Chris Cooper is a valid question mark, as Becton found his most consistent success previously under a different mentor. While the roster includes intriguing young prospects like Willie Lampkin, Holland Pierce, and Myles Hinton, none have regular season experience. Some analysts suggest that keeping these young linemen together is vital for their development, whereas others argue that a veteran presence could accelerate that process by setting a professional standard. Here's where I land on this. While I appreciate the sentiment of a reunion, I think the hype is overblown because the version of Becton who succeeded here has not existed for quite some time. Relying on past glory rather than current productivity is a trap for any front office. I believe we should prioritize the development of the guys already in the building, like Kendall and Morris, rather than bringing in a veteran whose recent performance metrics were objectively among the worst in the entire league. It is time to see if our coaching staff can truly cultivate our own talent into dependable starters for the upcoming campaign. As we look at the big picture for our Philadelphia Eagles, it is clear that Jeffrey Lurie and Nick Sirianni are balancing immediate contention with the long-term necessity of developing young talent along the interior offensive line. While Landon Dickerson and Tyler Steen anchor our guard spots, the lack of proven veteran depth remains the primary concern for the upcoming season. We should feel cautiously optimistic yet vigilant, because while the internal development of players like Micah Morris and Drew Kendall is vital for our future, we cannot afford a collapse if a starter goes down. Here's what people are missing regarding a potential reunion with Mekhi Becton. While Pro Football Focus ranked him 79th out of 81 qualified guards with 33 pressures allowed last season, he represents a low-cost, low-risk insurance policy that could bridge the gap while our younger prospects continue their growth. The Eagles simply need to determine if they value the raw development of the rookies over the experience Becton provides, even if his best days seem to be behind him since he left our system. The front office must decide if the risk of a struggling veteran is worth more than the patience required for players like Willie Lampkin or Holland Pierce to find their footing in training camp. It is a classic dilemma between trusting the new regime under Chris Cooper or looking backward at familiar faces to secure our depth chart. Given the specific metrics from last season, would you feel comfortable signing Mekhi Becton to a one-year, $2 million deal to provide insurance for the interior line? If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Fly, Eagles, fly. I'll see you in the next one.